Welcome back in. Primary night is tomorrow.
And Colorado has had its most impactful and closely contested primaries in, what, 16 years, Kyle Clark?
Yeah, since 2010. Yep, and a number of really interesting races this year. And one race that is surprisingly close is the race for Colorado's first congressional district. So this is the congressional district that basically maps over Denver. Democrat Dianna DeGette has held that seat for 29 years. And this year she has a 29-year-old challenger in Melat Kiros, who's a former attorney turned barista, who is running with the help of the Democratic Socialists of America. So DeGette's a progressive. Kiros is running to her progressive left, and it's a tight race. I mean, they're backing up the Brinks truck trying to keep Dianna DeGette in Congress. So it's an unexpected challenge that looks quite serious. I talked with Melat Kiros. Dianna DeGette won't take our questions. But Kiros told us the goal is to get more Democratic Socialists into Congress and then basically hold the Democratic agenda hostage so that they can extract concessions for progressive goals.
That's the goal. The goal is to build out a coalition of members that are committed to these ideas and these policies that are securing the most basic needs for every single American across this country. And frankly, these are the ideals and the values that are of the Democratic base of voters. We are seeing this chasm between the policies that voters actually want to see and the legislation that our leadership is actually progressing. And so I think this is actually a reminder to the party of this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is what our base wants us to be doing. And taking care of that legislation and identifying people that are holding up that legislation is, I think, the responsibility of legislators that you send to represent you.
So the knock on Kiros from the DeGette folks is that she is too extreme. She is against all arms sales to Israel, offensive and defensive. She's made a number of remarks that DeGette and her allies have said are anti-Semitic, including that interview with me when I asked her whether she would describe the firebombing of Jews in Boulder as anti-Semitic. She said that she would not describe it that way necessarily because she said she didn't know it was in the heart of the attacker, whether it was an anti-Zionist attack or anti-Semitic attack, and a number of progressives have condemned her for that. The knock on DeGette is that she's had the seat for 29 years and hasn't done a whole heck of a lot with it, and that they want some young leftist energy in there to actually do some riskier stuff in a safe seat. So for the first time in 30 years, we have a toss-up race in the congressional district that includes Denver.
Well, how far do you think that name recognition goes, though? Because on the other side of 29 years, it's still the name that everybody knows when you just got that ballot and you're just filling it out.
Here's one thing that I would urge people to think about, right? So Colorado has semi-open primaries in which unaffiliated voters can cast a ballot. And there are a number of us who have talked about the fact that the Democratic primary is really where it's at in Colorado, so long as Republicans choose to not run competitive candidates. Those unaffiliated voters, you would think a good number of them would break for Dianna DeGette, who's a known quantity for a long time in Denver, even if she's not a centrist, right? She's a progressive. But we have to be aware of saying unaffiliated voters equal centrists. They don't. We know that Colorado's unaffiliated voters, some are very liberal, some are very conservative, and some are centrist. But the point you bring up, Alex, is really well taken because that's 30 years of name identification. That's worth something, right? And not a lot of people on the progressive left or even the center left dislike Dianna DeGette. She's been in office for a long time. The only knock on her is that she hasn't been bold enough, hasn't been effective enough. So if anything, the name is likely to help her.
All right, Kyle, thank you.
Yep.
And in fact, join us tomorrow night for up-to-the-minute election results. We'll look at who's winning and what those victories mean for Colorado. Our coverage and analysis begins at 6 p.m. next. Will be an hour long, and we'll have race results from 7 until 10 on KTVD. More on 9 News at 10 and Channel 9 and anywhere you stream online.